News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Kalegi. President Trump says he'll have a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin Monday morning to discuss how to stop the war in Ukraine. Trump said he'll also speak with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and various members of the NATO alliance. He wrote in a post on Truth Social, hopefully it will be a productive day. A ceasefire will take place and this very violent war, a war that should have never happened, will end. God bless us all. Officials from Ukraine and Russia Friday held their first direct talks in more than 3 years, mediated by Turkey. Yet while the two sides agreed to swap 1,000 prisoners in coming days, expectations going into the meeting were low after Putin decided not to attend, sending only a low-level delegation and declining to commit to a ceasefire proposal. President Trump says Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising its prices, as the company warned it would this week. Trump said in a post on Truth Social Saturday, Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, eat the tariffs, not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. Walmart this week announced another quarter of solid sales and earnings growth, but cautioned that tariffs and increasing economic turbulence means even the world's largest retailer expects to raise prices. President Trump also posted on Truth Social Saturday saying the consensus of almost everybody is that the Fed should cut rates sooner rather than later. The president continued, "Too late, Powell, a man legendary for being too late, will probably blow it again, but who knows?" The U.S. was stripped of its last top credit rating by Moody's ratings, reflecting deepening concern that ballooning debt and deficits will damage America's standing as the preeminent destination for global capital. Joe Livornia, SMBC Nikko Securities chief, U.S. economist, and former chief economist for National Economic Council under Trump's first administration, is not happy with Moody's decision.
You're downgrading the country that has the reserve currency. You're downgrading the country that's growing the fastest of any industrialized countries. And you're also downgrading the country that has the best productivity per capita of any country. So to do this, I'm completely nonplussed by it. It doesn't make any sense.
Joe Livornia speaking with Bloomberg's Balance of Power. Moody's lowered the U.S. credit score to AA1 from AAA on Friday, joining Fitch Ratings and S&P Global Ratings in grading the world's biggest economy below the top AAA position. Israel advanced its ground forces in Gaza as part of a long-threatened all-out offensive against Hamas and said the new action prompted the group to resume mediated negotiations on a possible ceasefire and hostage release. Hamas denied the assertion, issued unusually during the Jewish Sabbath by Israel's defense minister. It said there were ongoing talks in Qatar without preconditions. Hamas had on Thursday appeared to link any new talks on Israel, lifting its devastating blockade on the entry of food and other aid to the Palestinian territory. Israel blocked aid into Gaza in March, and the United Nations says the 2 million-strong population there faces famine. New Jersey transit officials and its rail engineers union were set to meet Saturday to continue negotiations toward ending a strike that forced a shutdown to the commuter service on Friday. New Jersey Transit President and Chief Executive Officer Chris Kaluri said he would meet with the union's leadership in Newark at 1 p.m. New York time, a day earlier than planned. The union and its leaders were to be in attendance for both the Saturday and Sunday sessions, this confirmed by a union representative. NVIDIA Chief Executive Officer Jensen Huang expressed confidence in his company's trade partners and said there's no evidence of its prized semiconductors being diverted to the Chinese market. Huang told Bloomberg News Saturday in Taipei that NVIDIA's hardware is too large to be easily smuggled across borders, and its customers are aware of the rules and self-monitoring. Its latest flagship products are sold as multi-million-dollar integrated systems, which can contain as many as 72 graphics processing units and 36 processors. The Biden administration set up so-called AI diffusion rules to prevent shipments to other countries being diverted to China, which President Trump has decided to cancel. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Kalegi. This is Bloomberg.